What makes a baseball legend? Is it the towering home runs, the undefeated pitching streaks, or the unwavering consistency across decades? It's all of that and more. So what makes a baseball player truly one of the greatest of all time? It's more than MVPs, gold gloves, and batting titles. It's about dominance in their era, changing how the game is played, and leaving behind a legacy that stretches beyond the field. Some were unstoppable sluggers, others were masterful pitchers, a few were pioneers, breaking barriers that went far beyond baseball. This isn't just a countdown, it's a celebration of the 25 greatest baseball players to ever set foot on a diamond. Each one carved their name into history, not just through numbers, but through impact. This is the story of the best to ever do it. Number 25, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was the face of the New York Yankees for nearly 2 decades. With over 3,400 career hits, a .310 lifetime batting average, and 5 World Series championships, he was a symbol of consistency and excellence. Named to 14 All-Star games and winning the World Series MVP in 2000, Jeter's career was defined by his clutch performances, including the flip and countless postseason heroics. As the Yankees captain, he led with quiet determination and unmatched professionalism. He never won an MVP, but he didn't need to. Jeter's true greatness lay in how he made the routine look beautiful and the impossible look routine. Off the field, he carried himself with class, becoming a role model for millions. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2020 with near unanimous support, Derek Jeter's legacy isn't just about rings or records, it's about leadership, longevity, and loyalty. Number 24, Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson made history by becoming the only player to win MVP in both the American League and National League, first with the Cincinnati Reds in 1961 and then with the Baltimore Orioles in 1966. That same year, he won the Triple Crown, leading the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. With 586 career home runs, Robinson was one of the most feared sluggers of his era, but his impact didn't stop at the plate. In 1975, he broke barriers by becoming the first black manager in Major League Baseball history, blazing a trail for future generations. He was a 14-time All-Star, a 2-time World Series champion, and his fiery leadership helped turn the Orioles into a powerhouse. Robinson's legacy is one of strength, both as a player and a pioneer. His presence changed locker rooms, front offices, and the game itself. Number 23, Mike Schmidt. If you're building the ideal third baseman, you start with Mike Schmidt. Over an 18-year career with the Philadelphia Phillies, Schmidt redefined the hot corner with a combination of power and defensive brilliance. He blasted 548 home runs and won 3 National League MVP awards, more than any other third baseman in history. A 12-time All-Star and 10-time Gold Glove winner, Schmidt led the league in home runs 8 times and was the cornerstone of the Phillies' 1980 World Series championship, where he was named MVP. He had the bat of a slugger and the glove of a shortstop. In a position that often went uncelebrated, Schmidt brought star power. Today, when fans debate the greatest third baseman of all time, Schmidt still sets the standard. Number 22, Mike Trout. Mike Trout may be the only active player on this list, but his greatness is undeniable. Since bursting onto the scene in 2012, Trout has collected 3 American League MVP awards, 9 Silver Sluggers, and 11 All-Star selections. All before the age of 32, he's a 5-tool player who at his peak combined speed, power, patience, and elite defense in center field. With a career batting average above .300, over 350 home runs, and an OPS consistently among the league's best. The only thing missing, playoff success, but that speaks more to the shortcomings of his team than of Trout himself. His legacy, still unfolding, is already cemented as one of the greatest individual careers of the modern era. Number 21, Roberto Clemente. Few players transcended the game like Roberto Clemente. Born in Puerto Rico, Clemente became the first Latin American player to reach 3,000 hits, a milestone he achieved in his final at-bat. Over 18 seasons with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he won 12 Gold Gloves, 4 batting titles, 2 World Series championships, and the National League MVP in 1966. His rocket arm from right field was legendary, and his fearless style of play earned the respect of teammates and opponents alike. But Clemente's legacy extends far beyond baseball. He was a humanitarian deeply involved in charitable work across Latin America. Tragically, he died in a plane crash in 1972 while delivering earthquake relief to Nicaragua. Today, the MLB honors his spirit with the Roberto Clemente Award, given annually to the player who best exemplifies sportsmanship and community service. Clemente wasn't just a great player, he was a great man. Number 20, Rickey Henderson. Rickey Henderson wasn't just fast, he was the definition of speed in baseball. Over his 25-year career, Henderson stole a record-shattering 1,406 bases. In 1982 alone, he swiped an unbelievable 130 bags. But Rickey wasn't just a base-running machine, he had power too. With over 3,000 hits and nearly 300 home runs, he could lead off with a walk, steal 2 bases, and score, all without a ball being put in play. His career 2,295 runs scored is also a major league record. He won the American League MVP in 1990 with the Oakland Athletics and was a 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, and led the league in steals 12 times. What made Henderson unique wasn't just the numbers, it was the swagger. He played with unmatched energy and confidence. Number 19, Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro Suzuki arrived in the majors in 2001 and instantly became one of the most electrifying players baseball had ever seen. That year, he won both Rookie of the Year and American League MVP, hitting .350 and stealing 56 bases. Over the next decade, Ichiro became the king of contact hitting, racking up over 200 hits in 10 straight seasons, a major league record. He holds the single-season hits record with 262, and by the time he retired, he had 3,089 hits in MLB, not counting over 1,200 more in Japan, bringing his professional total to over 4,300. What set Ichiro apart wasn't just the numbers, it was the style. His quick slap-hitting motion, laser throws from right field, and unparalleled discipline made him a phenomenon. He played the game with elegance, humility, and grace, becoming an icon not only in Japan but across the baseball world. Number 18, Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson was terrifying, and not just because he stood 6'10", with a fiery glare and a fastball that touched 102 miles per hour. The big unit dominated batters with pure power. Johnson's slider might be the nastiest pitch in history, a sweeping, violent weapon that left even the best hitters guessing. Over a 22-year career, he racked up 303 wins, over 4,875 strikeouts, and 5 Cy Young awards, including 4 in a row from 1999 to 2002. In 2001, he led the Arizona Diamondbacks to a World Series title, sharing co-MVP honors with Curt Schilling after defeating the mighty Yankees. Johnson also threw a perfect game, a no-hitter, and at age 40 struck out 300 batters in a season. His legacy goes far beyond that though. Randy Johnson proved that intimidation, precision, and longevity could all exist in one towering frame. Number 17, Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens is one of the most dominant and controversial pitchers in baseball history. Nicknamed the Rocket, Clemens won 7 Cy Young awards, more than any pitcher ever. Over a career spanning 24 seasons, he earned 354 wins, 4,672 strikeouts, 2 Triple Crowns, an MVP in 1986, and 2 World Series rings with the Yankees. He led the league in ERA 7 times and strikeouts 5 times. Clemens pitched with a bulldog mentality, bulldozing his way through lineups with sheer aggression and pinpoint command. But his legacy is complicated. His name has been linked to performance-enhancing drugs, and although he never officially tested positive, the allegations have kept him out of the Hall of Fame despite being one of the greatest pitchers to ever live. Regardless of opinion, his impact on the game is undeniable. When he was on the mound, the outcome always felt like a battle. Number 16, Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio is baseball's golden myth, refined, poised, and seemingly touched by the divine. Best known for his 56-game hitting streak in 1941, a record that still stands today, DiMaggio was the embodiment of grace on the field. He played his entire 13-year career with the New York Yankees, winning 9 World Series titles and 3 MVP awards. He hit 361 home runs with a .325 career batting average, all while missing 3 prime years to serve in World War II. DiMaggio was more than just numbers. He was a national icon, especially during wartime. His swing was effortless, his presence regal. Off the field, he became a cultural figure, famously married to Marilyn Monroe and immortalized in songs and poems. His legacy is timeless. DiMaggio represented a golden age of baseball when the game wasn't just entertainment, it was national identity. Number 15, Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols didn't just hit, he devastated pitchers. In his prime, he was arguably the most feared right-handed batter in the game. Over a 22-year career, Pujols smashed 703 home runs, drove in 2,218 RBIs, second most in history, and recorded 3,384 hits, a combination of milestones reached by only the rarest legends. He won 3 MVP awards and a batting title, while also earning 6 Silver Sluggers, 11 All-Star selections, and 2 Gold Gloves Cubs at first base. But it wasn't just the numbers. From 2001 to 2011, Pujols averaged 40 home runs, 120 RBIs, and a .328 average. Statistically, one of the most dominant 11-year stretches in MLB history. He helped lead the St. Louis Cardinals to 2 World Series titles and was the heart of their lineup for over a decade. Even in the twilight of his career, Pujols' return to St. Louis felt like the closing chapter of a baseball fairy tale. His legacy? Pure excellence, sustained power, and grace over 2 decades. Number 14, Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux didn't blow hitters away, he outsmarted them. Nicknamed the Professor, Maddux was a master of deception, movement, and control. Over 23 seasons, he compiled 355 wins, a 3.16 ERA, and over 3,300 strikeouts. But more impressively, he walked just 999 batters in over 5,000 innings. He won 4 straight Cy Young Awards from 1992 to 1995 and 18 Gold Gloves, the most ever by a pitcher. With pinpoint accuracy and insane baseball IQ, Maddux could make a 90 MPO fastball look like 100, or vice versa. Pitching for the Braves and Cubs, he helped make Atlanta's 1990s rotation legendary, leading them to a World Series title in 1995. He didn't talk much, he didn't show off, but when Maddux took the mound, it was like watching a chess grandmaster at work. His legacy lives in every pitcher who wins with brains instead of brawn. Number 13, Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. was the coolest man to ever pick up a bat. With his iconic backwards cap, smooth swing, and electric smile, the kid turned baseball into art. Griffey hit 630 home runs, won 10 Gold Gloves, and earned 13 All-Star selections across a career that captivated fans from Seattle to Cincinnati. He was the face of baseball in the 1990s, a 5-tool player who played with joy, flash, and passion. Injuries slowed him down in his later years, but his prime, unmatched. He won the 1997 AL MVP, led the league in home runs 4 times, and robbed more than a few with jaw-dropping catches in center field. Griffey was also one of the few mega stars untouched by the steroid era, enhancing his legacy as a clean, generational superstar. Kids didn't just want to play like him, they wanted to be him. Number 12, Honus Wagner. Long before TV broadcasts or million-dollar contracts, Honus Wagner was baseball's first superstar. Playing from 1897 to 1917, Wagner dominated the dead ball era, winning 8 batting titles and finishing with a .328 career average. He could hit, run, throw, and field at an elite level, becoming the prototype for the modern shortstop. He led the league in doubles, triples, stolen bases, and slugging at various points in his career, and guided the Pittsburgh Pirates to a World Series title in 1909. Known as the Flying Dutchman, Wagner's athleticism was unmatched in his time, and today he's most famously associated with the T206 Honus Wagner baseball card, the most valuable sports card ever made, symbolizing not just his greatness, but his mythic status in baseball history. One of the original 5 inductees into the Hall of Fame in 1936, Wagner's legacy is as one of baseball's founding giants. Number 11, Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez was small in size, but on the mound, he was a giant. Standing just 5'11", Pedro packed a 97-90 fastball, a devastating changeup, and pinpoint control into a frame few believed could dominate, until he did. In his prime, Pedro was untouchable. From 1997 to 2003, he posted an ERA plus of 213, meaning he was 113% better than the average pitcher. Insanity. He won 3 Cy Young Awards, struck out over 3,100 batters, and recorded a career ERA of 2.93 in the heart of the steroid era. In 1999, he finished second in AL MVP voting and led the league in ERA, strikeouts, whip, and wins. He was the ultimate David versus Goliath story, except in this tale, David threw 98 and made hitters look silly. He later helped the Red Sox win their first World Series in 86 years in 2004, cementing his place as a Boston legend. Pedro wasn't just dominant, he was historic in an era when offense ruled everything. Number 10, Stan Musial. Stan Musial was the perfect combination of power, precision, and poise. Over a staggering 22-year career with the St. Louis Cardinals, Stan the Man compiled 3,630 hits with an exact split, 1,815 at home, 1,815 on the road, symbolizing the remarkable consistency that defined him. He hit .331 lifetime, clubbed 475 home runs, and drove in 1,951 RBIs, earning 3 MVP awards, 7 batting titles, titles and 24 All-Star selections. That's not a typo. 24. Musial was a quiet giant, a man who never sought attention but whose numbers demanded it. He led the Cardinals to 3 World Series titles and was so respected that opposing fans cheered for him. Musial didn't play for records or headlines, he played for excellence. His legacy is one of class, humility, and unrelenting production. He didn't need controversy or drama to be remembered, just a sweet swing and a smile that defined a generation. Number 9. Walter Johnson. Walter Johnson was a god among mortals during baseball's early days. Pitching from 1907 to 1927 for the Washington Senators, the Big Train was as close to a human cannon as the sport had ever seen. He won 417 games, second most in MLB history, and struck out 3,509 batters at a time when strikeouts were rare. Johnson recorded an unfathomable 110 shutouts, a record that still stands. He won 5 ERA titles, 2 MVP awards, and helped lead the Senators to a World Series championship in 1924, finally rewarding a city and franchise that depended on him. Johnson wasn't just dominant, he was revered. He pitched with grace, sportsmanship, and devastating power. Even in the dead ball era, he made hitters look helpless. His contemporaries feared him, and future pitchers idolized him. His legacy lives in every power pitcher who's ever towed the rubber with a 100 MPA fastball and icy stare. Number 8. Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle was the walking definition of talent and toughness. The switch-hitting center fielder for the New York Yankees blasted 536 home runs, won 3 MVPs, and led his team to 7 World Series championships. He was the face of baseball in the 1950s and 60s, a blue-collar hero with tape-measured home runs and breakneck hustle. Despite battling chronic injuries, some stemming from a blown-out knee as a rookie, Mantle still put together a Hall of Fame career, hitting tape-measure shots that landed in myth. In 1956, he won the Triple Crown, batting .353 with 52 home runs and 130 RBIs. But beyond the stats, Mantle represented the clash of old-school grit and Hollywood fame. He was beloved by working-class fans and adored by the media, yet haunted by personal demons and pain. Still, when it mattered most, on the big stage, Mickey delivered. His legacy is that of a flawed icon who gave everything to the game, often at the cost of his body and peace. Number 7. Barry Bonds. No player in baseball history is more polarizing or more statistically dominant than Barry Bonds. The all-time home run king with 762 long balls, Bonds also holds records for single-season home runs, 73, career walks, 2,558, and intentional walks, 688. Proof of how often pitchers simply refuse to face him. He won a record 7 MVP awards, was a 14-time All-Star, and compiled a staggering .444 career on-base percentage and 1.051 OPS. From 2001 to 2004, Bonds put up numbers that defied belief, slugging over .800 in multiple seasons. But the shadow of performance-enhancing drugs clouds his story. While Bonds never failed an official test during his playing days, accusations and evidence surrounding PEDs have kept him out of the Hall of Fame for now. Still, watching Bonds in his prime was watching dominance distilled. Pitchers had no answer. His eye at the plate was alien. His swing, a thunderbolt. Barry Bonds changed baseball. How it was played, watched, and judged. His legacy is complex, but unforgettable. Number 6. Ted Williams. Ted Williams is widely regarded as the greatest pure hitter in baseball history. He's the last player to hit .400 in a season, batting .406 in 1941, a feat that has stood untouched for over 80 years. Williams finished with a career batting average of .344, an OBP of .482, the highest of all time, and 521 home runs, despite missing nearly 5 full seasons serving in World War II and the Korean War as a fighter pilot. He won 2 MVPs, 6 batting titles, and was a 19-time All-Star. His swing was science, his plate discipline legendary. But Williams was also famously complicated, brilliant, intense, and sometimes combative with the media. He played his entire career with the Boston Red Sox, yet never won a World Series. Still, when it comes to the art of hitting, no one studied it or mastered it like Ted. His legacy is etched not only in numbers, but in philosophy. He didn't just hit, he understood hitting better than anyone who's ever played. Number 5. Ty Cobb. One of the most controversial figures in baseball history, Ty Cobb's talent is unquestionable. He finished his career with a .366 batting average, the highest in MLB history, and collected 4,189 hits. Cobb won 12 batting titles and led the league in stolen bases 6 times. He was the first player ever inducted into the Hall of Fame and received the most votes in that inaugural class, even more than Babe Ruth. Cobb's aggressive style of play made him feared and respected, and his passion for winning was unmatched. However, Cobb's legacy is complicated by stories of racism, violence, and questionable behavior, yet no list of baseball's greatest can be complete without him. His obsessive drive and ability to dominate every facet of the game left a permanent mark on the sport. Number 4, Hank Aaron. Quiet but relentless, Hank Aaron rewrote the record books with sheer consistency. He famously broke Babe Ruth's all-time home run record in 1974, finishing his career with 755 home runs, a record that stood for over 30 years. But Aaron wasn't just a slugger. He collected 3,771 hits, 2,297 RBIs, still the all-time record, and posted a .305 batting average. Aaron was a 25-time All-Star and a 1957 World Series champion. He won NL MVP that same year. His career total of 6,856 total bases remains untouched. What makes Aaron's impact even greater is the racism he endured as he approached Ruth's record. He received hate mail and threats, but never backed down. His quiet dignity and excellence in the face of hostility elevated him beyond the game. Hank Aaron is more than a Hall of Famer. He's a civil rights icon who represented strength, perseverance, and unmatched excellence. Number 3, Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig was the embodiment of toughness and excellence. Nicknamed the Iron Horse, he played in 2,130 consecutive games, a record that stood for 56 years. During his career with the New York Yankees, Gehrig hit 493 home runs, batted .340, and drove in an astounding 1,995 RBIs. He won 6 World Series titles and earned 2 MVP awards. But what made Gehrig's legacy immortal was the way he faced tragedy. Diagnosed with ALS, a disease now known as Lou Gehrig's disease, he gave a farewell speech in 1939 where he called himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That moment became one of the most emotional in sports history. Gehrig's combination of production, humility, and strength made him a beloved figure. He wasn't just great, he was noble. His story transcends baseball and reminds us that heroes are not only measured by their numbers, but by their grace in adversity. Number 2, Willie Mays. Known as the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays was arguably the most complete baseball player of all time. He could hit for average, crush home runs, run the bases like a rocket, and play defense at an elite level. Over his 22-year career, Mays hit 660 home runs, drove in 1,903 runs, and stole 338 bases. He won 12 Gold Gloves, all consecutive, and earned 24 All-Star selections. Mays won the 1954 World Series and was a 2-time MVP. That same World Series featured his legendary over-the-shoulder catch, which remains one of the most iconic defensive plays in history. Beyond stats, Mays inspired generations of athletes. As a black player emerging after Jackie Robinson, Mays represented excellence and grace during a time of massive cultural change. His smile and skill made him a symbol of class, competitiveness, and courage. To this day, many believe Mays is the closest thing to perfection baseball has ever seen. Number 1, Babe Ruth. When it comes to baseball's greatest icon, Babe Ruth stands in a league of his own. Starting his career as a dominant pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, Ruth evolved into the most feared slugger in baseball history. He blasted 714 home runs, a record that stood for nearly 40 years, while maintaining a staggering .342 career batting average. He led the league in home runs 12 times and slugging percentage 13 times. Ruth won 7 World Series titles and was part of the inaugural class inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1936. But his impact goes beyond numbers. He transformed baseball from a low-scoring strategy game into an exciting, power-hitting spectacle that attracted millions. The Yankees became a national brand largely because of Ruth. His personality, confidence, and otherworldly skill helped shape the golden age of sports in the 1920s. Without Babe Ruth, baseball might never have become America's national pastime. These 25 legends aren't just the best of their eras, they are the pillars of baseball history. They broke barriers, shattered records, and created moments that fans will never forget. From Babe Ruth launching baseball into the mainstream, to Mike Trout defining the modern game, each of these players left a permanent mark on America's pastime. This list wasn't easy to make, many greats were left off, but the 25 included here combined elite talent, sustained dominance, historical impact, and enduring legacies that have stood the test of time. Baseball is a game of stories, and these 25 legends wrote some of the greatest chapters in sports history.